For some reason, the live was acting real sketchy, like the internet was going in and out. So we had to start it all over again. Spirit is giving us a message, and it's all like I see all swords from like the three of swords to the seven of swords. So three, four, five, six, seven of swords is what we're seeing. Heartache. We got rest. It was giving us a return to spirit. Hey, Jean, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you. Um, hey, Queen, Grand Rising. Great day, great day. We was just talking to Jean. I was telling Jean that we've been off messaging because we had a passing in the family. My sister-in-law passed away very unexpectedly, so we kind of been, you know, dealing with that and healing through this, or navigating this space. So thank you guys so much for just kind of holding us in your prayers. And I've seen received so many well wishes from people on Facebook, just reaching out, and even just those leaving comments asking where we are. So thank y'all so much for following up with us and just keeping us in your heart. And we're wondering like, where are we? It's good to know that people notice when you're not around. So that's always just beautiful. My daughter's school back because um, they're probably we left them a message and let them know that we'll be out of town for, you know, considering everything that's going on. It's still such a hard time even saying it. Hey, Monica. Hey, Miss Monica. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Your spirit definitely has been working with us as we navigate this space of loss. And so I definitely did want to come in and message because it's just like so heavy, the emotion that we're feeling for, ourselves and then my brother and my niece, but I did want to come in and give you the cards that the spirit has been putting on us. Y'all know we don't need decks to read, but spirit just gave us, been showing us certain cards. I'm seeing the Five of Cups. I'm definitely feeling a lot of heavy grief, a lot of regret, a lot of remorse. It's something about energy too that I'm picking up. Like, I don't know if it's like a feeling of misplaced energy, or that somebody has, put energy into something that just didn't turn out well. Spirit is giving us a yes on that. So could be thinking about that. It's definitely giving me like, even when we are going through grief, we feel like start to feel like, all the time that we didn't spend and the things that we didn't do, right? So for instance, my sister-in-law and my brother, they all came out for my aunt's 50th wedding anniversary. I think we all talked about that event that happened recently. But my sister-in-law and I, we did karaoke, and we usually don't ever do karaoke. It was like one of those events, those times where you just making memories. And we didn't take pictures, and we were like, why didn't we take pictures? We didn't take any videos. So it was, I kind of think about that, like in this moment, like, dang, that was the whole time that we spent, that we kind of lost the ability or missed the opportunity to immortalize it, to put it on video or to take photos and just have those memories, right? Sometimes we always feel like we have more time. Like it's gonna be, oh, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next time, right? And so now spirit is showing me the Three of Swords, where it's like the heartache and grief comes in because we always be like, oh, we'll do it next time, or we'll do it, and something happens where the time that we thought or we assumed or we presumed we would have, it's just not there. So then we're left with all with the woulda, shoulda, couldas. I should have did this and I should have did that, and and so take the time to make sure that you are, spending it with the people who value you, who appreciate you. They're showing me the Four of Swords now. It's like not only do I feel like she's resting in the spirit, but it's giving like, I don't know. I just feel resting in the spirit, like that connection to the spirit. I feel rest. I feel calm. I feel peace. I feel no worries. You know what I mean? It just feels like no worries. Uh, my sister-in-law doesn't have any, but the five of swords I do feel next is like we are mentally conflicted. You talking about racking our brains trying to figure out what happened. What happened? It was just so sudden and so swift, right? It's like that space where the people who are left behind to figure out like what does life look like? What is the new normal? What is, what was the most high God's plan? How is this working for the highest good? How do we accept? How do we, you know, one thing that's big, as we were talking about, as Spirit just said, how do we accept is making sure our language is right, right? Um, you know how sometimes it comes to your head, like, I can't believe this. But it's not that I can't believe it because I believe it. We're living in it, right? It's just really difficult to accept it. It's very challenging to accept it, to speak it out, to say, this is what has happened. Um, it just feels like the words sometimes just kind of get caught up in my throat. Like, and anytime this, your mind goes there or my mind goes there, like, man, I can't believe this, or how could this happen, or, you know, the spirit reminds me that it controls life and death. And the spirit also gave me like karmic and dharmic, right? We've been talking about karmic releases and we've been talking about, your dharmic path, but we don't really talk about a dharmic release, right? And my sister-in-law is like a prime example of like a dharmic release because she did so much in terms of like living in her true authenticity, living in her purpose, you know, the role that she played, the impact that she had on people's lives, the miracle that she birthed. And when I say miracle, I mean miracle. Like she had preeclampsia, and my niece was born before she was 5 months gestation. So she was between 5 and 6 months gestation. She was super little. She was only 1 pound and 1 ounce. She still had a little hole in her heart. So she immediately had to have surgery to kind of sew that up and repair that. Her eyes were still sealed shut, y'all. Like her eyelids had not even separated. She was covered in hair. She was so little. Um, but, she's 11 years old now. She's running around. She's completely healthy. You would never even know it to look at her. So, I feel like she brought in this beautiful gift. And it's something with 1 1. Because, like I said, my niece was born at 11 pounds and 1 ounce. And she's 11 years old. So that's 1111. And I'm picking up spiritual stability. I'm picking up, just her dharmic path and her dharmic purpose have been completed. And so we always think like, the karmics getting what they need with that judgment and that balancing. But there's balance all the way around. And we always think about like how do the good people and those who have this pure heart and have nothing but, the desire to help and to, leave this positive impact, how do they go so soon when others are, still here, you know? We had to have that because that mental conflict was like, how in the hell do people who do some horrendous things, heinous, just be walking around here and people feeling like they're not getting their justice because sometimes it appears that way. And those who are doing the right thing just up and pass away. And when I say y'all, it felt something. Don't kill me in the comments and check out. But that's how. This is just how it felt. Like she got up, went downstairs to have a smoke like she normally does. She went upstairs, sat on the couch next to my brother, and she transitioned, like took her last breath. So, in the grand scheme of things, to transition so quickly, so swiftly, without any pain, without any suffering, next to the love of your life is amazing, right? But then it's the other side of the coin, like, which is again that Five of Swords. To take your last breath, to sit down and you to see your loved one go through that. Um, it leaves us kind of reeling, like in the mind. And what Spirit did to kind of help me move into the Six of Swords, which is like that calm, that place of peace, is the Most High God aligned it in such a way where my brother was not out of town. He had literally just got back from being on travel for work. Her and her daughter were not alone. So the kiddo did not have to experience that by herself. And she was able to be with the person that she loved the most, which was her husband, my brother. So when I think about the synchronicity and how that's how the Most High God wrapped it up for her dharmic release, it helps me go into the Six of Swords and kind of relax, right? I very much feel her presence, y'all. Like it feels like she's right here with me. And being a medium, I get the opportunity. So I hear her laughing, I hear her talking, I hear her, just speaking to me to tell me things and how to handle things, especially with my niece and how much comfort that she needs right now. Um, so that leads me to the Seven of Swords, which Spirit gave us. And it's like strategy, right? What do you do when there isn't too much you can do? You know what I mean? We know we have to face it together. So we have to. There's no way that any one of us could do it alone. You definitely need support during these times. But what do you know what I mean? It's like always that thing, like, what do you give or say to a person who's just, we're all experiencing this loss, but I know I can't even tell you what my brother's experiencing. I can't even tell you what my niece is experiencing. And sometimes you just kind of have to figure out what is it you can do that's helpful without overstepping, overreaching. So it's a balance. It's very a very sensitive fine line that you have to walk. But I tell my niece definitely, like, don't deny your feelings. Grief is very complicated and it's not linear. It's not like you get over it or you go through the stages of, disbelief and shock and anger and frustration and denial and, sadness to acceptance and then back into denial. Like, it's not just a steady pathway. So she's gonna feel it and she's gonna feel it for the rest of her life. I let her know that it'll get easier to deal with it. But there's gonna be days where you just can't deal, and there's gonna be days where you're okay. And all of it is fine. And don't let anybody tell you when your grieving process should be over. Oh, that happened such and such. You should be over that. Absolutely not. Right? You feel it for as long as you feel it. And the thing is, don't deny what you're feeling. Accept it, allow it. And that's the thing that, like I said, is the hard part, leading us back into the Five of Cups. Like, to accept. And I just keep telling us ourselves, like, we can do hard things. We can face hard things. Yeah, everybody grieves differently. That's right, Queen. Everybody grieves different. Especially for a kiddo. You really don't, you know, they don't always know how to respond. At first it's gonna be that shock and disbelief. But, we're still dealing with the freshness of it. It's the days after that, the weeks and the months and life getting back to a new normal that's really like, okay, it's settling in. Like, this is forever. So you try to pick up the phone or call her at certain things that we say, like she doesn't too much care to hear anybody call her by her nickname anymore, because that's what her mom nicknamed her. So it just reminds her of that. So we have to be careful. I try to read her face. You know, I can see her facial expression. When you say certain things, you can see it hits her emotionally. So I'm like, oh, I see that's a soft spot. That's a sensitive place, you know, and try to figure out and strategize how to maneuver and navigate around that. So, we definitely are thinking about the Three of Cups. You know, how do we celebrate her life? You know, how do we come together as a community? Even Three of Pentacles, right? Work and collaborate to support one another. It's huge when you lose a spouse because, you know, it takes two people to do what we're doing. On a daily basis, financial obligations, life, and the cost of living and raising children, you know, and to lose that other half so suddenly, you know. Good thing, because we've been talking about estate planning and insurance and things like that, because you never know what's going to happen. That she did, you know, set things up so that they will be okay. So financial worries is not one of those things. So I just give everybody that message, you know, please do what you can do to, even if it's a bare minimum policy, you know, because when these things happen, the people who are left to pick up the pieces, baby, when you're trying to figure out how to do a GoFundMe page or take up donations from family to put to send, you know, your loved one off and have their final celebration, that's not a good thing. You're already dealing with so much. So if you can afford, you know, find a way, whether I have to give up a coffee or something like that, to find 20 or 30 bucks a month for life insurance. Please do it. Please do it. It makes it so much easier for the people who are having to bear that weight, that yoke. Thank you so much, BC. I appreciate y'all. I do. Three of Pentacles is also, you know, my brother's gonna need a lot of support. He's a single dad now, you know, raising an 11-year-old, and he's on one side of the country and we're on the other side of the country, and he doesn't have any more family here. Like, I would lived out here in the Southwest, and then mom came, and then my brother came, and um, mom left, and then I left. But he had married his wife, or he was with her. So, and it's funny, I got to back up and tell y'all, because his wife, I told him that he was going to marry her. So I don't know who all knows, but I met her at work, and I didn't know her. We just knew each other in passing. We would see each other at work. And I had a dream about her. I literally saw her at a family function. It felt like a family reunion or something like that, where like the whole family is at the park and it's like games and activities and stuff. And I was like, dang, that's odd. But I knew, I felt like I knew her. So fast forward to the next. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's time. I thank you. I appreciate you so much. But fast forward, I moved to another bank, and my manager asked me, she was getting resumes to hire, and she came across my sister-in-law's, who I had only saw in passing, but I knew reputationally she was a good professional. So I was like, yeah, I'm seeing her in passing. I hear she's good. So she hired her, and so we were working together on the same team, and we got to know each other. And I kept saying, my brother's coming out to, he's moving out, he's moving out. We were getting him out the city because it was just not dangerous. We had already lost a cousin to gun violence, and we were really worried about my brother. So we got him to agree to come out. And so he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. And she's like, oh, he's so young, because he's 5 years younger than her. He's so young. He's just a baby. I'm like, oh, no, he's a grown man. My brother works 12, 14 hours a day, and he has his own apartment. He takes care of business. Like, he's a grown man. He cooks, he cleans. He's a whole one. He's a real one, y'all. Like, for real, for real. Not just because he's my brother. But, so he gets to Arizona, and we're having a happy hour for my birthday. And so she comes, he comes, and we're having drinks and she's drinking apple martinis and she's not a drinker. So by the fourth apple martini, she's giggly, right? So he's sitting next to me and she's across the table from me. And he gets up to go to the restroom. And so she she leans across the table and says, "Lie, your brother is hot." I was like, I told you. So at the same time, he's coming back up the stairs, but she can't see him. He's behind her. And so he stopped and looked, and then we all get done drinks and stuff. And then we're leaving, and he's looking at her. He's like, "Dang, sis, your girl got a fat ass." You know how dudes is. Yeah, he was checking out her ass. And, like, she's pretty, but I see her from the back, right? So, I was like, "Go on over there, bro." So he walked over there. He walked her to her car that night, and they have been together ever since. It's been 13 years. They spent 13 years, 12 or 13 years. Yeah. However, it's been long. It's been since 2012. So for right, I think that's 13 years. So for me, it's a little different because I saw her in my dreams. I knew she was family. And for them to get together and get married and have this beautiful miracle child who's 1 pound and 1 ounce, and they built this beautiful life together. And it just felt like the maturity in my brother, y'all, you talking about the value of an amazing woman. Not only was he doing good on his own, but she just helped him go to a whole nother level. When I say she elevated this man, he was my little brother. Now he's a grown ass man. Like, I see him with his daughter and with my niece, and my niece is so mature. Not only is he so loving and kind and gracious and just thoughtful and attentive, you know, and he was all about his wife, like whatever she wanted to do, however she wanted to do it. It was, but he also has his strength. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like mushy or no shit like that. But it's like, a person who knows when to push back and say, "Hey, let's think about this and let's this right here," and they can hold each other up in balance. And they were so opposite. She didn't necessarily like mushy mushy, and he's all about it. And my niece is right there in the middle. So I told him, I said, she's the balancing between you two, right? So, like a little seesaw, you know how one this way and one this way, and then you got the foundational piece that's in the middle. That's what I always say my niece was the foundational part that helped them balance, their scales together. So the three of them. And I know that she had to do whatever it is that she needed to do. And I believe that she was so successful because it's in the fruit that she bear. You know what I mean? Like, it's in the fruit. You can see it. And you can see it on everybody who speaks about her. It's not like, how people do and they be trying to struggle to find something good to say. No, it's not that. Like, she did it. And so that's why I go back to the Three of Cups. Like, it's a celebration of her. And Spirit dropped it on my heart. I was listening to a friend of mine pray, and she was praying for us in that moment when we got the news. And she said that pain endures for the night, but joy comes in the morning. And I heard the Spirit say to me, joy in the morning. And that's why we never say morning, right? Because we always see MOURNING. But in that moment, it felt so befitting, right? We do have joy in this morning because her spirit, her life, her legacy, when she meant what she accomplished, what they built, like, you have to, there's the only thing to do is to count it all to joy. Like, you cannot not count it to joy. So this one is one of those moments we keep reminding ourselves that we can do big things, we can do hard things, right? 1111. Like, I feel like they definitely were so connected. And it feels like a positive twin flame journey. You know how we always talk about like twins, they don't come together. If they do come together, then it's all messy and sloppy and, you know. But this was like a twin flame journey because I knew they were so connected. But it's one that actually worked out, y'all. It's one where he was a balance to her and she was a balance to him. And they found each other again. I still have to take credit because, I felt it, I dreamed it, I saw it, right? We facilitated it, our birthday party, But they found each other again and they did it. And they had this beautiful little little person who's like the mix between them two. And I think that was the job that they were supposed to do. Because that little girl fought her way into this world, like, and she's still here. And she's in a STEM school. She wants to become an engineer. So I feel like she's going to bring something to creation that is needed. You know what I mean? It's going to be something fresh, something new, something useful, right? Thank you so much. 1111. Yes, that's what we picking up. And see, in that 1111 is giving me the Four of Swords. Like, can we have the comforter? Can we have the rest? Can we have the peace, knowing that she's at peace and she did everything that she was supposed to do? Like, you hit that dharmic release. Like when the Most High God comes and tells you that you've done a great job, it's time for you to rest. I don't know why it was so soon, but she did it, and that was the time it was completed. Um, Even when I think about how she left, it almost put me in the mind of Enoch, like how where Enoch was walking with the Most High God and just left. Like, um, it's so double sided because of course we feel the pain of the loss, but I still feel so much joy. Like, I feel her happiness. I feel her joyous spirit. I still hear her loud laugh and just so boisterous. She was a Virgo. And I know like 2 weeks ago or something like that in the cards, Virgo kept coming out. We kept seeing the transition card, the death card, 13 coming out. Um, but Spirit never showed me her specifically, which for us sometimes it's kind of hard because we don't get to know everything, right? So that's something that we contend with. Like, I could see that she was a part of our life. Why couldn't I see the end? And I ask Spirit that. And of course, it's because I don't get to know everything. And I didn't get it. I wasn't authorized to know that. So um, we just have to accept it. And it's like, there's nothing that I would have been able to do, even if I did see it. It would just torment me for knowing that something is coming. But we get that anyway with other ones that we see. Even if we don't know who it is, we know that something's coming. Energy is energy, guys. So, when we talk masculine, female, or feminine, it's never gender. It's all about the energy that they're in. And she definitely had a strong energy, a strong personality. August 28th. So, 828 could be significant for somebody. Um, she's definitely still got that Leo energy mixed on top of that Virgo. So, she was a firecracker. And when I say bold and bodacious and authentic and not gonna back down, she stood on principle on what she knew was right, and she was not gonna relent. She's the type of person that could get a double refund from a company because she gonna give them the business. And by the time she get done with them, she's gonna get a new product and a refund or some shit. Like, how the hell do you do that? Yeah. So that's where we've been, guys, and this is what Spirit has been giving us. You know, the Three of Swords, that heartache, that grief is something else. But to give it to joy and to say that I joyfully mourn you because I got the opportunity to know you, I'm grateful for the connection. I'm grateful for the love. Um, I'm so glad that she's resting with the Four of Swords, and I pray for the comforter to come in and, you know, touch my, especially my brother's heart. You know, it's definitely, ugh, yeah, no words. Five of Swords, like absolutely speechless. Like, don't even understand. Like, you do understand, but you don't. It's always that oxymoronic. Like, I believe it, but I can't believe it. I gotta accept it, but I don't want to accept it. So that's the Five of Swords, right? And once you get to the point, it's like, okay, this is happening, and we have to learn how to navigate through it. It's given like the Six and Seven of Swords, having peace in heart, knowing that the Most High God designed everything. Like, it couldn't have gone any other way. Anything being different would have had a completely, you know how like the smallest little details and things not being aligned in time just right could change the whole scene of a situation. Yeah, yeah, celebrating the victories. Yeah, yeah. But that's what we feel like. We look at the fact that how the Most High God did everything and aligned it and timed it in such a way where it was the most peaceful transition, peaceful transition, surrounded by people that you love the most. Like, not in a hospital or somewhere where it's like all cold and, you know, surrounded by beeping machines and stuff like that. Shit, she was in her home that she designed. Oh, yeah. So most of y'all know that my sister passed 3 years ago. March, well, 2 years ago, March of 2023. And she passed from a fentanyl overdose. And she passed in the building. She was upstairs in the apartment from where mom lives, right? Her friend happened to live in the same apartment building that mom lived in. So when that happened and she OD'd, they called mom, and mom went up to the apartment and she was doing CPR on her, trying to get her to regain consciousness or try to bring her back. So she just, you know, worked on her for as long as she could till the EMS got there and they took over. That's exactly the same way that my sister-in-law left. She didn't pass of a fentanyl, so let's not get that twisted. It wasn't that. We don't know why. What happened? She walked upstairs, she sat on the couch, and then she transitioned. But what happened, my brother was there, so he started doing CPR, trying to save her. Her mom got there, and she worked on her, and they worked on her until the EMS got there. But at that point, they said there was nothing else that they could do. Like, they don't know what it was. It was like nothing could be done. So it's just crazy that now my mom and my brother's mother-in-law have the same experience. My brother, my mom, and his mother-in-law all have the same experience. Their daughter passing from what appeared to be a heart attack, trying to do CPR to revive them on the scene, and now having to live with those last moments. That's another thing that's like, wow. So as this year closes out, it's still so much that's going on, y'all. Is not only is it going to be karmics that are going to be released, right? But people who are coming to the end of their dharmic pathway and can be released. And I don't know what the spirit is doing, but when I say it is moving swift and quick, like to literally sit down and take a breath and that be it. So to avoid so much in that Five of Cups, the regret, the remorse. You know, spend your time with people who value you. The holidays are coming. It's going to be tough for people who are grieving. So, transmute your energy into more compassion, into more understanding, right? Every time these feelings come up and we have to, acknowledge them and decide we're going to reject them, release them, send them down to the incinerator, waste management, take up all of that material resources and decide to transmute it into more patience, more understanding, more compassion, more sympathy, more empathy, and more mindfulness. You know, we always we know that life isn't forever and anything can happen in an instant, but we still can go back into that mindset of I got time. I got time for this. I got time for this. I got a time to make the call. I got time to make the connection. I got time to make the memories. And you don't know because tomorrow isn't promised. We are not promised to make it through the day. The same way that she woke up, went downstairs, had a cigarette, walked back upstairs, and transitioned, she was awake for less than 2 hours. We wake up with the breath and we give thanks for it, and we are entered into this day. But we never know how it's going to end. We don't know if we're going to see the end. So take the time to make it count, make it meaningful with the people that value you and you value, right? Energy and time is precious. Time is the most expensive thing that we have. So spend it wisely. Spend it wisely. I hope this is helpful for somebody. Just our testimony to Tarot. Y'all know how it go. You know. So once we got to the Seven of Swords, right? That understanding strategy, how we need to move, how we need to think about things, how we need to navigate this space. It gives us back to that self assuredness. Like, yeah, this is an adventure. We have these connections. They are for purpose. They are for reason. Every single one of them means something. Like, so don't discount the impact that you have on people's lives. You know, everything is by some sort of design. I pray for anybody else that's grieving. Oh, your son is coming to visit tomorrow, Jean. That's beautiful. Yes, yes. Please connect, y'all. Please. Um, we were just listening on the radio, and I was like, oh my God, did they say we posted record breaking sales on Cyber Monday? Wish people would, put that time and energy into the things that really, really matter. You know, everybody make their own choices, but that's the thing, the choices. Monica says, yes, there's a different quality to mourning when grief and gratitude are allowed to coexist. This has to, yes. Thank you so much. It is because they are not mutually exclusive, right? And we tend to think like that, like in terms of black and white, like it's either this or either that. Thank you, Spirit, for coming through. I'm getting again those words, joyful mourning, right? Not when we can have joy in the morning and joy in the grieving, joy in the sadness. Can I take the grief, the sadness, the anger, the frustration, the disbelief, the shock, all of it, and count it to joy? It's like taking all of those things and putting them in joy and counting it towards that. And that's what we put it into the God box. It almost feels like this heavy weight, right? And putting it into the God box and asking the Most High God to receive it. right? I'm even feeling like almost like a piece, like a slither of my heart, the heart just being shaved off, and asking the Most High God to come in and repair that, you know. Hey, sis, thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. I do. And I usually we'll pray like when the spirit gives us the sentiment of taking your whole heart out and putting it in the God box, but they didn't do that. It's like the heart that we have. I'm hearing words like appropriate, I'm hearing applicable or something like that. But it's like I'm seeing the spirit come in and repairing what's here. And it's almost like I'm seeing a scar, like it'll be scarred, but it's still good. You know what I mean? It's giving like something that leaves that scar on your heart or on your spirit almost. But we are defined by the way that we move through those scarring moments, right? Those are the times that build our character. Those are the times where um, yeah, that makes sense, G. How you use Cyber Monday and Black Friday. That makes sense. Um, but yeah, I'm getting like these hard moments is when we develop that character. And like, how do you move through it? How do we come together? How do we collaborate? How do we, coexist? How do we allow all of these complex emotions and feelings um, to just be without how do you sit in something so heavy and you want to fix it, but you know there's nothing that you can do to fix it, so you just have to allow it to be what it is, right? It's definitely given very, very parallel. Like we've been talking like a lot about polar opposites and duality, like the hot and cold, the red, the blue, and what happens when that red flame meets the blue flame, and they combine and it turns into the violet flame. That's like that ascended type of energy, right? So even when I see the Four of Swords versus the Six of Swords, it's like that rest type of energy, like being down and just needing to lay there and to heal, versus having to also move forward, right? And you have to move forward in a way that's kind of calm and collected mentally with strategy, the Seven of Swords, because when you make emotional decisions, you can fuck shit up, right? And what other time is most emotional? So that's when you need to have that community to help you think about things, because when emotion is high, intelligence is low. You start to make decisions from the heart space and not necessarily ensuring that the mind, the heart, and the spirit are still aligned. So, Three of Pentacles, collaborative work, right? My heart goes out to anybody that has to deal with this and you don't feel like you have a support system or people that you can lean on to get through it. Because my immediate thought was, we got to get there. We got to get there, like now. So we were able to make it the very next day. But still, and him having his, in-laws where they live, him being very much, comforted and supported by, his in-law family. He wasn't by himself, but you're talking about we just converged. And so I pray, that we all have communities, even if it's not direct relatives, but you have people in your life that can converge, that can come and support you, that will come and cover you, that will come and uplift you to help fill in those spaces, even in whether it's intercessors interceding through prayer, the things that you don't even know that you need, like a person who can observe and say, you know what, let me take care of this, because this is just something that eases the weight off of their shoulder, even if it's just your presence, Because in this time, there's nothing that we can do to make you to ease the pain on his heart, except for just to be there for one another. It's to be present, right? You know, Five of Cups, y'all. But we know that we can do hard things and face it to move through it. I definitely still feel that regret. Man, I wish we had took video of us doing karaoke. That shit was funny as yeah. Look, y'all, how we pick a song that we know how to sing and they play the extended version with a whole verse in it we ain't never heard before. So we sitting up here like, because we don't know none of the damn words. It was funny as hell. But the Six of Cups, now I see, right? The ability to look back on all of those positive memories and to let it fill us, to keep us going, you know. Sometimes it hurts to think about the past and those memories, and, you know, you can kind of go into the, we won't have that again. I can't, go shopping. We can't go get our nails done. We can't do all these things. Okay, Miss Monica, thank you so much. Thank you so much for keeping us in love. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna be going to. I just really had to come and bring this message and touch base. Share the testimony now that spirit really worked it out, because I'm definitely seeing karmic release and I'm seeing a dharmic release. I'm seeing releases on both sides of the scales. So as we know that the balancing continues for 2025, the year of the nine, the year of releasing. Um, it's not over. It's really not. And things could be super sudden. Oh, wow. You were feeling the Five of Cups this rising? Wow. Yeah. And literally, I don't know. Yeah. I feel so much. My heart is so heavy with the remorse. It's not just regret. It feels, I don't know, remorse is really coming through. So I don't know if somebody is really feeling remorseful, like over someone who has transitioned out of your life. It could be something that's going to happen suddenly. Again, that's our testimony, something that happens super sudden. So take the time to really be with the people that value you. Now, I would never say, like, just to turn the other cheek and be like, make up with people who treat you bad, or, who don't respect your boundaries, and, who, that's just on fuckery. Nobody's saying that shit. You know what I mean? You can release and forgive so that you don't carry any of that Five of Cup energy. Oh my gosh. Yes. And that's, see, the anniversary of that passing. And what? Oh, on your birthday. Wow, sis. Wow. My heart is with you. My heart is with you, man. And that's, yeah, and so that's why it's so important, in this space, to really, a lot of people feel regret or remorse this time of year anyway, because it's the holiday with Thanksgiving just passing, right? And that was so crazy to be with her family and she's not there on Thanksgiving. We all had a hard time with it, but the fact that we were all together, we all could share our moments of where, her mom would have a moment, her sister would have a moment, and we could all support each other. So this time of year is hard. Like sis said, from anniversaries of passings, whether it's on your birthday, whether it's because of the holiday and that person is not present, because it's such a family centered time. Oh, thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you, Miss Black Cherry. Thank you. Um, that's why it makes it even more special. And back to like we were talking about that Black Friday stuff, like the shopping. Like it's so many things that are so much more important than the dollar that we spend. We can make more money, y'all. Like money, we create the value. The value is within you. You are the creator. As long as you got your inspiration, your soul, limited possibilities, unlimited possibilities, unlimited potentiality. Let's get that right. Thank you, Spirit. You know, you can make the money. The money is you. You are the value. But we can give each other more time. And we were saying that just recently, y'all. Come on, family. How many times were we saying that if you cannot make your heart beat, you can't force yourself to take that next breath. If the spirit don't give you that next breath, the AO don't say your lungs gonna keep working, your heart gonna keep beating, then it ain't nothing we could do about that. Time is priceless. So spend your time and your energy, your focus on the people that value you. Thank you so much. Look, y'all, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all that come back, y'all that has been, that just been rocking with your girl. You know, y'all understand it's slow. It could be cold like that old school Crisco. AL be having to get it out the can and into the pan and turn the heat up. But whatever they bring, any and everything, is like it's good for our soul to be spiritually strengthened, to be nourished. Life is life, and then it's gonna keep doing it because that's his job. Like, what is life if it don't life, right? And it's unpredictable, it's chaotic, um, the same way that it is predictable and stable and calm. It's like everything all at once, you know? And you can see the people who value you by those who show up for you. You know what I mean? Those who notice. So those who have noticed that we weren't around for a minute, those who understood what we were going through because they could see the post on the community page. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for checking on us. Thank you so much for your energy, for your comfort, for your condolences. Um, and I just leave y'all with this. Like, please, please, please love on each other. Love on the ones that's loving on you. You know, love on the ones that's loving on you. Understand that this world is complicated. It's never just this or that. It's a combination of all things. Acceptance is not easy. So to be able to put yourself in a place of radical acceptance where you can accept whatever comes your way and you can meet it with joy at the end of the day. So put everything in your God bucket. Put everything in the joy bucket. Hey, Tabitha, thank you so much for tapping in, right? No matter what it is, y'all, count it all as a joy. If you keep counting it all as a joy, we can run joy up and then joy will be running towards us, right? That's just what it is. It's the hardest thing to do, right? It is. Nobody ever said it was easy, but nobody ever said this shit was easy. So we can do hard things. So no matter what emotion you're feeling today, amplify joy. Put your anger towards joy, your frustration, your grief. Put your joy towards joy. You know, amplify the joy, run it up. And whatever else that's going on that you are transmuting, tell yourself intentionally that I'm going to release this. I'm going to send it to the incinerator, is what we've been calling it, right? Putting it in the incinerator, burning it, having it transformed by the fire. Take up those ashes so the Most High can give us beauty for those ashes, right? And we're going to transmute it into more power, into more peace that goes into our wholeness. So I'll leave you with that. Don't know if we'll message later on today. We might come back tomorrow just to give you what we've been feeling in this space what spirit brings. But until we meet again, y'all know this. I love you. I do. I love you so much. I love you just like I love me because that's my capacity. But it's growing and expanding on a daily. And we have to accept in this crazy life, all things exist, like in creation. It's going to be both the good, the bad. But if we focus on joy and count it to joy, then everything is all good, right? No matter what we're feeling, it's okay because we know at the end of the day, we are whole, we are complete. There's nothing broken, and there are none of us missing. We are safe. We to the next now. I love you so much. It was so great seeing all of you too. I missed y'all. I did. But baby, when I tell you we had to face some hard things and go into the spirit, do everything that we talk about, right? We ain't gonna tell you nothing and feed you nothing we wouldn't eat. So we definitely had to go sit it down, shut it down, transmute, work through these emotions, and see, what is the message going to be? Is it what we normally do? Testimony to tarot, right? And we thought about buying some cards, but Spirit, like, for what? And we tell you the cards anyway. We'll tell you the card and then we'll show you the card. So why do you need the cards? We don't. So everything they gave us pretty much is all swords, right? It's all mental, right? Because even with the Three of Swords, that heartache, like we decide how we feel about it, right? Again, I can sit in grief and despair, or I can take that grief and despair and count it to joy. I can have a joyful mourning, right? I can mourn her and grieve her in joy. I can choose to celebrate her and, you know that she's resting. Four of Swords, Five of Swords, I can put that to rest and move it to the six because I don't have to understand everything. The Most High God controls the timing. And if she had her dharmic release, we can feel peace with that. We can move away from that chaos and that conflicted mindset into acceptance. And then the Seven of Swords says, what is the strategy? How do we continue to move forward? Because life just changed dramatically, right? And it was so funny because she is a very dramatic person. When I say she's loud and out there, like she's that one. And she exited the same way that she lived, on her own terms, on her own timing. And her fruit is beautiful. So I know it was a dharmic release. And her and my brother were twins, and they had a successful twin flame relationship. They taught each other so much, and to see them learn from one another was amazing. Because you don't always see that. Yeah, they fuss and, stuff like that, because what married couple don't? But the fact that you can balance with somebody that's your opposite and you can birth this miracle, a 1.1 pound baby with a hole in her heart and her eyes still sealed shut. And she was born at on 121, I think. Yeah. So that's a 4. And 1 pound, 1 ounce at 11, which is a 4. So I'm feeling a number 4. I'm feeling 4. I'm feeling twin flames. What would when one twin flame works out well? That's beautiful. So, karmic release and dharmic release. Things are going to be happening in twos, right? It could be, we usually talk about like transitions happening in threes, but it feels like something is accelerating. So I don't know what that is. I'm seeing acceleration. I'm seeing the Eight of Wands right now, actually, and I'm seeing like, there's a a Bible verse in Christian theology that talks about like when the rapture is happening, and I'm not like being all doomsdayery or nothing like that, but that's just a feeling that it's giving me. Like where two were standing, and then all of a sudden there was one. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like where, again, he's sitting on the couch, she sat down, and then she left. So it's giving like where there was two, there will be one. So we can start seeing losses. Good people, of course, all we know pass, but then karmics also pass. So it's something about an acceleration. Um, So brace yourself because I keep feeling like there's more coming. You know how you feel like you're sitting in the storm, and it almost like feels like I'm trying to stay grounded and rooted in the storm. I feel like, or just to navigate and keep moving through it. Because like yesterday, we had a fly swatter sitting out here. I don't know where it's at right now, but the spirit had us going like this, like a windshield wiper. Here it is. So we were sitting here, confirmation, right? And it was like going like this. And I kept feeling like it was speeding up, speeding up, speeding up. And I could see like a truck window, you know, like if I was driving like a big rig. And it feels like all this rain is coming at the truck, and these windshield wipers were just going, 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 trying to keep it so that you could see because there's so much rain coming. Yeah, yeah, that because that twin flame journey, right? But it's giving like it's so much rain in this storm. And you know, even on that Kirk Franklin song "Smile," where he be like in the beginning, and he gives a monologue, and he's talking about like when the rain is coming down, you have a tendency to want to slow down or pull over and wait for the storm to pass. But it's something about the ability to continue down the road and drive through it. And then it gave me like the energy of like the spirit stopped the windshield wipers and allowed us to drive through the storm, even though it's raining, but we could see clearly. It wasn't even like I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's like I can see clear despite the rain going on. So it's something about being able to find clarity, peace, and groundedness, rootedness in the midst of the storm because I just feel like it's not over yet. And I feel like it's things, like I said, very unexpected, like people that you would not even consider. So if you got people in your head like this person has, hey, special, thank you so much for tapping in, beloved. If you feel like, oh, this person has this condition and that condition, and they no, it is not. It is people who you would be like, gosh, I didn't even think anything was going on with them. Man, that's just so sudden because, and I would have never thought, and you could not have told me last week that I would be sitting in this day and this would have happened. It's those type of things. Y'all, stay prayed up, stay grounded, stay in touch with those that you love, that value you, you value them. Make the memories. The tangible shit, it means nothing. A new iPhone, a new tablet, a new blender. Look, it is the time, it is the memories, it is the connection, it is everything that you share with a person for real from a heart space. That is what matters. Can't nobody take none of that with, you know. Instead of doing that, again, buy a life insurance policy. If you're gonna spend, can't tell you how to spend your coin. That's not my place. It's just suggestions what Spirit is putting on our heart to say. If I'm gonna go spend $500 on a tablet or an Apple Watch or something, whatever the case may be, I could pay an insurance policy for a whole year and not have to worry about that monthly bill or what it's doing, you know, to the finances. Oh, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It is one of the most important things that we should do for one and each other. That is an act of self care, it is an act of self love. If we are not planning for these things, those are places where we really need to put focus and mindfulness on how to care for yourself and how to care for your loved ones. Because this year is going to finish out strong and hard. And for those who are having to accept these losses, you know, the fact that I can't even really say loss, huh, sis? No, it's like I'm hearing her say learning lessons. You know what I mean? Like every person that comes into our life is a teacher, right? That's what their twin flame is about, right? You learning, growing together, soul development, right? So that's the lesson. You don't want to be in that position. And then if you can do it and it hits your heart, I'm glad for it. So that I know that the message is did what it was supposed to do. So hopefully can't afford not to, right? You cannot afford not to buy the insurance. You are absolutely right, Jean. So Do that for one another. Do it for yourself. I can tell you personally, I just watched and seen how much of a difference it makes going from, questions on security to, relieving that stress and being able to just move forward and figure out the rest. It's hard enough to navigate without a loved one than to have to worry about finances and uprooting your entire life and children and everything. So do that for yourself, do that for them. If you think about it, or just how you think about it. I guess I can't say nothing else about it. We don't want to be rambling on, y'all. But I love you just like I love the Alpha and the Omega. That which made me, that made you, that made all of us, we to be the infinite intelligence breathing, because the word does live. Everything is called and syncopated. Appreciate the day, because we don't never know how it's gonna end, beloved. We just don't. We woke up, but that don't mean that we're gonna get all the way to the end of the day or see another one. So if you have time, make some phone calls. Do the Stevie Wonder, right? I just called to say I love you. That type of energy. And if you know somebody that's grieving, give them a call and just allow yourself, your presence to be the gift, right? If you can't change what they're going through, but you can bring comfort, right? Anything else, Spirit? Yes. Spirit says stay safe. So stay safe. Ooh, they just showed me the Evil Eye Oracle card that says unexplained accident. So stay safe as you travel. Keep your peepers out, because everybody are not always paying attention. Um, I'm hearing something about drinking and driving. So be cautious for drunk drivers. It is holidays and people tend to get a little bit more merry and festive in terms of that. And another reason to have your insurance stuff intact, because there's other things like Aflac insurance that help repay you for costs if you're in an accident and you can't work. So Two of Wands, yeah, planning. Two of Wands, Three of Pentacles, collaborative work, working together, and planning, like financial fiscal planning. So keep that in mind. Yeah, that unexplained accident is coming through. Unexplained freak accident is what I'm seeing, and I'm hearing and seeing the words drunk driving. So I don't know if anybody has been in a drunk driving accident, or that could be premonition for somebody, and the spirit wants you to stay cognizant, paying attention of your surroundings, because you know how we kind of have to drive for other people on the road. But that's what we got for y'all. I love you. I do. Again, Alpha and Omega reminds you that you are creation. You are it. You are whole. You are complete. We are all here together now. So enjoy the present, for it is the gift. To the next now. I love y'all so much. Ashe, beloveds.